Welcome back, everybody, to episode 4 of the Lookout Podcast. I am Meelz. I am here with the Platinum Chanel boy himself, Jeff. Jeff,
on?
please say stuff. Say stuff.
What's up,
Come
man?
on.
What is up? What is up? What's going on?
Yo, this is a microphone.
I know, right? I'm sure it sounds incredible right now.
First of all, I would just like to say, just in general, you have not. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes maybe you use a microphone. Most times you don't use a microphone. You use headset. You sound great nonetheless, and I can't imagine how and why.
Man.
I think it's just the voice.
Maybe even on like RSPN, I've definitely kept it like low maintenance as far as getting the show recorded. But today is special, and yes, I'm definitely on a mic right now.
I'm so glad. I'm so proud. I feel like we're
it's
there.
time. I mean, I feel like we're definitely past that for sure.
Well, listen,
take this to a new level.
Listen, we definitely do have a special guest on the episode. Someone that actually, wow, if there's any guest that has had the longest stretch of time of not being on the show,
right? Your show, our show. It's crazy. Like, of all people.
Is this? I would like to say this guest, so just preempting it, he has not been on the show for 80 episodes.
Wow.
Do you know how many episodes we have? Go ahead.
Well, it's just funny to me because obviously this person who's on the show today is on the timeline with a lot of different like anime things that pop up, and I'm just like, damn, maybe Meelz is really keeping this nigga away from the show for some reason. Here we are.
Well, nonetheless, I've always wanted to bring him on. I don't know, just needed perfect time. And then also he was retired from podcasting for a while, and he still is.
Right.
But this is like the John Cena retirement thing where he's like he's retired, but actually that goes in for the check every now and then.
Must do.
So we have to intro my tag team partner on the Two Belts podcast, Carlos.
Wow.
Welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Shit, when you said 80 episodes, I thought the guest was going to be Jimmy. I was really hoping that it would be him. I'd be like, shit, you got Jimmy?
The only person who could, Jimmy would tie with you, and the only person who would be longer than you would be Flash, if I ever invited Flash to this thing. So he would be the only person.
Y'all niggas got friends named Jimmy and Flash. That's hard.
I mean, everyone got that one friend that like nobody calls them their real name.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
don't even know their government.
No, we know his government. It's just like we went to school with the nigga. Obviously, we all got IDs.
Right.
Yeah. I've known him for like, gotta be, I don't know, like 20 years or some shit like that. I know his name, but now because everyone calls him Flash, I have now called him Flash. But I never used to call him Flash in the beginning. But then, just call him Flash. But nonetheless, Carlos, first of all, welcome to the show. This is not your first time on the Lookout Network. You were previously on the Big Eyes podcast for the 1000th manga extravaganza of One Piece.
I got to let my stand flag fly. It was crazy.
I'm glad.
It's always fun.
I'm glad because, first of all, I just started One Piece.
Yeah, you're on like the first 100 and something, right? Because that's what they've got on Netflix.
No.
Yeah, I'm on episode like 12 right now.
I'm on episode like it's an easy flyby. It's like it's not very long. It's not very like
it's not like long in the format that you're watching it. Let me tell you what this is like. My little like I had to walk to school barefoot speech. I had to sit through episodes that were split up on YouTube in like 3/3. So do you remember that era? Like if you used to watch anime on YouTube, people would cut up the new episodes into 3 bits, just hoping that YouTube wouldn't flag them because of the length.
Had to make sure.
It was for me watching anime like that, and also episodes of Martin on YouTube. It was just like they're just
look how far we've come for real. Like
they need to put that on Max. Martin needs to come to HBO Max because if they're gonna put the goddamn Wayans brothers up there, they gotta.
I think it's coming.
That and the Jamie Foxx show. I need to watch that shit over again in just straight.
I agree. Shit,
man. It's been a long time.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Obviously, I'm making it through whatever One Piece is. I think I'm at the the Akana. What's this fucking fish guy name? Shark guy. Arlong. There we go. I'm at the end of his arc. Things just started. Yeah, so I'm there. So hopefully I can finish that later today. But wanted to talk about. Okay, so I obviously know your favorite animes and favorite mangas, but for the people, because usually when we have a first time guest on the podcast, we go through what's your favorite mangas, what's your favorite anime. But you're not the first time guest. But this was before I had an actual format for the show. As you see, it's
and I don't know what his favorite anime is. So
yeah. So for the people,
ever?
what are your favorite mangas or animes or things? Yeah, ever.
Okay, so I guess like especially when I was much younger, when they finally put like Cowboy Bebop on the show on like Adult Swim, that was like one of my favorite fucking animes. And then finally, what was it? We get to like what was it? When did Brotherhood come out?
2011.
2011. So I guess that would kind of usurp it because that thing just bangs all the way out. But like, I guess like my top 5 would probably be like what? Full Metal, Bebop, Yu Yu Hakusho, even though I have my gripes with that. One Piece. That's
okay.
That's a no-brainer for me. And then what I'd say, like, Trigun.
Yeah, Trigun is serious.
Yeah,
haven't seen that, but
I had to rewatch it like a couple weeks ago too, and I was like, damn, this still holds up. This is pretty good.
Yeah, it holds.
Damn, I need to watch Trigun.
It's on fucking
Trigun is some like anti shonen real, like some hardcore work.
It's some real seinen shit. Yeah.
It's
really modeled
it's some other shit for sure.
Yeah. I think it's really modeled for people who's like this is your first time getting into like the otherworld stuff.
Interesting. Okay, and what mangas are you reading currently, and animes that you're watching currently, like of the new stuff, like right now?
Of the new stuff, I just finished that Akuma Driver thing. It's pretty good. I love the animation. I still don't know what's really going on, but hey.
That was me and fucking Tower of what was it, Tower of God? Tower of High School?
Oh wait, which one?
Tower of the thing that I hate.
It is Tower of God that you don't like. Yeah, it's Tower of God.
Tower of God, yeah. It's one.
Yeah, because people don't like the ending or how it just comes together like
I
that.
like the ending. I don't like everything leading up to between the first episode and the last episode. I hate everything in between. But yes, I love the ending. Rachel's a bitch, but sure.
Yeah, she's gonna win that award too.
What else you reading, and what's got your interest and stuff?
Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's so funny because when the anime was coming out, they were like, "Oh, hey, you've gotta read the manga because there's so much shit that you don't catch, and you don't because a lot of stuff just happens in formal dialogue. Like people will say back then, back this, back, and then you're like, what the fuck does that all mean? And then they finally show you what the fuck happens. And you're like, oh man, this is amazing. These niggas do not stop throwing hands.
They really don't. It's so ruthless. But it's such a good series to me. Like
I like it, yeah.
Yeah, it's good thus far, and we're gonna talk about it a lot more later in the episode. The thing that you're missing from the at least the manga part, I guess, it's the Juju stroll parts, which I find hilarious at the end of the episodes.
The little vignettes.
The most recent one had me really laughing. So.
Oh yeah, I like those. They had Mahito and like the other one playing like the schoolgirl.
Yeah.
She was so funny, dog.
It was so cute. Like,
oh my god. And Jogo's like, oh wait, no, my garden like requires fire, and it's, everyone's like, it was just so. I know I just didn't make sense with the words that just came out of my mouth, but if you watch it, it'll make complete sense.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Really.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm glad that Carlos is here. I'm glad that Jeff is here. I feel like two halves of me are just existing.
I know, right? Balance.
This is so fun.
I feel really, really good about this. Especially, so close to my birthday. This feels like a great birthday present to me, quite honestly.
Wow.
But big news that we've got that actually just came out today is that Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, if you're that type of guy, season 2 is coming out in 2021. Now, I'm excited that it's coming out in 2021. Did I already think it was coming out in 2021? Yes, but now there's a formal announcement in the trailer and all the other shit like that. What are you guys' general? I'll start with you, Jeff. What are your general thoughts and just feelings on this?
Yeah, I think they're right on schedule. I'm sure, we'll have the movie and then they'll probably pump the season 2 out right afterwards. So as long as I'm just glad we got a date, like as far as a year is what I mean, because it can happen at any moment. I'm saying it's probably gonna be in the fucking summer or fall or something, but still, as long as we get the film and then the actual anime kind of close by, they'll probably go on another long run, and then we'll be demanding season 3. So I'm really excited for it. Obviously, I think they've done so well with this movie overseas that it's kept the hype up, as well as like the dub is not bad either. So I think they've just done really well, like from getting their merch out.
You've watched it dub?
Oh yeah, I've watched it. I've watched Jujutsu dub as well. I've been kind of like going back and forth. I like the dub, man. I like when like, because sometimes
I'm not painting you as that guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not painting you as like, oh my god.
Well, you know me. I prefer sub.
Yeah.
All day, every day. But I've been trying to make sure, like, we interview Zeno. I'm like, you know what? I gotta tap in on some of the work going on. So yeah, I'm still checking out the dubs, man. But I'm really excited. I really am, dude. I ain't gonna lie to you.
What about you, Carlos? How have you felt about Demon Slayer just in general?
I'm so surprised that the movie has not, like, what's the word? The movie has not come out like at all on this side of like America, and that shit is crazy to me.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Like Adult Swim was like on it with the Attack on Titan dub for the final season, on it for like every other like
My Hero,
My Hero, all these fucking animes, they're on top of it for the dub. But it's just like, well, we gotta wait for this fucking movie. I don't know if they're waiting for it to come out on DVD or what. But
I think they wanted it because it's done so well in theaters overseas. I assume they wanted to wait till theaters were open here it to go happen overseas.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, that's
I don't know if that's
so. They can't do that shit.
Like I remember I was mad because they announced like the New Zealand dates. It's like the movie's coming out February 25th in New Zealand. I'm like, how the hell does New Zealand get it? And then I'm like, oh yeah, they don't have
smart
COVID cases.
Yeah, they're smart. They got this shit figured out. They got this shit all mapped out. We're just waiting it out.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, they could charge me for it at this point. I'd pay for it to watch on
exactly.
Just straight up, like I will definitely pay for it because I've seen it. And it looks beautiful on the RIP version. Cough, cough. That I watched. It looked amazing still, so I know it's gonna look crazy, like in theater. So I hope to see it on the big screen personally, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. Obviously.
Yeah.
And then the trailer came out recently for that second season. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Still solid animation.
Listen, it's my favorite arc, the Entertainment District one with the what's my Lil Uzi.
Yeah, he got the gemstones in his head.
Yeah, he does as well.
Real flamboyant.
Real flamboyant hours.
Yeah, they're here.
I'm excited to see that. I'm not sure if it's going to be another like 24, 26 episode season like it was last time, because I would feel like if they did, it would end up being like the show would end up being like 3 or 4 seasons, or maybe 3 max.
Yeah, I think it'd be 3 max, just by the length of the actual source material.
And I have movies. The money's been made.
But
so.
I think it was an interesting tidbit about the movie is I'm in my brain. I was like, is it a chance that they're gonna put the Dragon Ball Super thing where the movies are gonna be just put into the anime? I think it's probably going to happen.
So you think they'll go ahead and chop the movie up into a few episodes?
Yeah, because let's say you're binging this all the way through, right? Mm-hmm. You're not going to stop in the middle of it to be like, all right, let me go find this movie on 1, 2, 3 movies. Or
list that shit as season 1.5 on Crunchyroll and just cut it out.
Yeah. So I don't think I really feel like they're probably going to incorporate that into the second season, and then we get to the whole Entertainment District arc thing, and then maybe like they'll cap it off with some like cute fun shit of like.
I guess we'll see. They'll let's see how much common sense they think we have. Because they may just, if it's me, I'm saying, hey, fuck it, let's just get right into like new shit. The movie's out,
right?
Go see it if you can, find a way, and then you'll understand. But if they want to chop it up into 5 episodes, I guess we can wait a month and some change to actually get to new content.
Yeah, I mean that's what.
I mean,
That's
they're
what I
running
think
it
is gonna
up
happen.
in terms of manga and DVD sales. They're running up
I'm thinking-
crazy. So there's
I'm
like, oof, like that shit.
Yeah.
What was it? I think they've only had 5 volumes like last year, and them shit's so crazy.
Yeah. they
Oh,
So
went
you
up.
know what's so crazy now that I'm thinking about this because I have it planned with all the spreadsheets that I have of dates and stuff like that. Actually, tomorrow,
Calendar man.
yesterday when this comes out, will be the 5-year anniversary of when Demon Slayer manga actually came out.
Okay. Wow.
Oh.
So it'll be 5 years. So listen, this run in 5 years is already like an all-time best-selling manga ever.
Yeah.
And it's like an all-time best-selling movie in Japan ever. And I'm just like, wow.
They really did.
How does it?
They really did it.
Yeah.
I'm curious to what Ufotable is gonna be coming up with next, man.
Listen, I don't know. Shit.
Well, the money's there now, so they can go whatever direction they want.
Friggin', what's the other studio? What's the Attack on Titan studio that I'm
Nappa?
forgetting my brain? Yeah, they're
Nappa's
eating
on
everyone's
fire.
food right now.
Oh yeah,
Nappa's
OD.
They're like-
Toei niggas is pulling out their hair. They're like, damn.
Yeah. Yo, how did we not secure the rights to Chainsaw Man?
I don't
You
know.
know what I'm- Oh my god. I can't wait for that to be animated as well. Is all I'll say about that. And for part 2 of whenever the part 2 of this thing starts as well. Are you guys ready for Titan time?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I got it on right now. Matter of fact.
Okay. All right. So Titan time, we are here. This is episode, I believe it's 10. So I feel like we have like 6 more until this part of the season ends. But I mean, last time it was a lot of, I guess, flashbacks, a lot of Potato Girl, a lot of Why Are You Black, a lot of stuff like that.
Real questions.
Hold on. The episode where they meet their first black man is the episode where they also try their first seafood platter.
Yeah, man. Hey, it's not coincidence, Carlos. It's not coincidence, man.
It's not. It's strategic. That nigga brought Old Bay seasoning in his jacket.
You know what's up. There's no coincidence.
Oh my god, that's so funny. First of all, all 3 of us have gotten onto this recently. I have to get Carlos's thoughts because I think he's the most recent in terms of like watching this. Because you were telling me when you were watching this, and I was same thing with Jeff. I was like, "Yo, text me whatever you want to talk about it," because I know this shit gets wild. What are your overarching thoughts on like, I guess, watching it thus far?
Oh, they don't give a fuck. They don't care if you love somebody, if you hate somebody. When it's somebody's time on the show, it's their time. That's it. and
they don't reminisce about it either. Like, it's over.
Bro.
Once they're dead, they're dead.
I don't remember whoever died from the first season, never been mentioned again.
I don't remember him. I don't even remember him.
Not even a thought.
Yeah,
the family friend that saved Eren and Mikasa from that Dina's his dad's ex-wife Titan.
Right.
Which is so ironic. Like
angry ex-wife is rolling.
How your old joint find you and your new family and eat your wife?
She was waiting for the malls to open. She was like, "Yo, it's my time."
I smell
and
that
she
nigga.
made a
Where's he at?
beeline.
Yeah, pull up.
I smell that nigga. Where he at?
Oh my god, bro.
Child support payments. And look at me.
Super deep.
Oh my god. But any other like exciting parts that you just remember like throughout the show that like stood out to you, Carlos?
Levi putting them niggas in the blender, nigga. He really.
He's too good, man.
They swing giant box cutters. That's basically what they do.
They really do. They really do.
And just like be chopping these niggas down. This nigga can handle like 30 or 40 of them just to reach Drewski's big old ass at the end of the field. Like, that's crazy.
I'm still mad you call the Beast Titan Drewski.
He got the same face. He got the same facial structure.
Oh my god.
That picture where it's like, so what do you mean by that? I just picture the Beast Titan leaning in. And he picked up one boy and his horse and he just flung them niggas and ate them?
Yeah.
That's the best part. That part, all right. Levi versus the Beast Titan or Trunks versus Frieza, which is the best like slice and dice?
Come on, man. I mean, I honestly like. I'm not gonna give nostalgia this W because
absolutely
of
not.
nostalgia.
Absolutely not.
Like Levi and the Beast Titan was too hard.
He cooked that nigga.
Yeah.
On every level. He shredded that nigga until there was nothing left but a steaming hump, like a steaming lump of human being with nothing but nubs for arms. That nigga.
Oh
the
my
blade
god.
The blade in the mouth at the end was just kind of like the hardest shit I've seen on the series still.
Yeah, absolutely. So we go into this episode. It's an interesting way to start the episode because it's obviously it's from the capping of last week's episode, but it's a start. Eren is obviously trying to take a shower in the sink. Obviously, and being interrupted by Hanji, who through my recent I wouldn't even say recent, through my research on this show and stuff like that, not a girl, not a guy, them. So I was like, wow, didn't know that.
Hanji was meant to be genderless in like the original manga, but I mean, translating that to anime doesn't work as well because you still got to pick a voice actor. So
absolutely,
something's gonna happen.
You're right.
It happens way, Hunter x Hunter has that shit like 3-4 times. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so obviously Eren's trying to take a shower in the sink, and Hanji's like, "Hey, I heard you say fight. What does that fight mean? Fight? You said fight. Does it mean you fighting twice? Does it mean we fighting today? Does it mean we fighting tomorrow?" And obviously he gets completely. He's like, "Yo, why are you here? Why are you here?
Like, come on, nigga, I'm looking at myself right now. Like,
you see a nigga monologuing, and you gonna come in
like, stop, bro. I'm busy right now."
And she tries to bring up old stuff, which prompts us to a flashback of the show of like, oh, okay, I remember when you were so into Titans. You remember that time where that Asian lady, who we're not calling Asian because it's a fictional country, but I know it's Asian, showed up to our island to lay out this plan? I want to just talk to you and talk about that. So, all right. Just because the general scheme of this episode, I'll go into the general scheme of this episode. Everyone is coming to terms that Eren has changed. Eren is different. Eren is no longer the person that they was. It's like, man, he's growing hair in places he didn't have hair before, and his voice is deeper.
He looks good.
And he's taller, and he's also slightly more psychopathic than before. Not just a little slightly. They're discovering this. Hanji experiences that on her own, but then Eren snatches them up and just be like, yo, like, just know I have like 3 Titans in me. This jail does nothing. Like, I have the Warhammer.
I was wondering why the fuck he was in a jail cell, because I'm just like, is the prison really gonna hold this nigga? All he has to do is decide to cut himself. Just think about it. Like,
did you see him? Like, he like flexed the Titan thing a little bit. He was like, he just sparked it up.
You see it real quick. Look,
he was like, yo, don't catch a Reiner right now because it could go real bad
on this shit, nigga.
Yeah, you never know.
My hands stay bloody just for this type of thing.
I'm feeling like.
But they're starting to experience it. The core group of whoever's left of the Survey Corps, as the final 4 seasons, we're down. This is like Survivor. There was like 400, 500,000 members of the Survey Corps. There is legitimately like 7 now, plus Flock. But everyone hates Flock, so he's never actually included in any of the conversations. For manga readers, you know why. But the core group begins to question Eren's intentions because he was like, yo, originally Eren wasn't like messing with Zeke. Like, you remember the time where we were talking to, Miss Azumabitu, and he was just like, nah, we're not going down with Zeke's plan. And now he's like totally like, yo, we're fucking with Zeke and everything that he does.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you have question marks.
Yeah, everyone's like, yo, he's growing. Did you see him when Sasha died? Like, he didn't even cry. He left.
Giggling. But I kind of, he was really giggling because of, I think, her last words, which I guess if you're going to remember her in some way.
It's still funny. Psychopathic because everyone else was crying.
Nah. I think he laughed because he was like, wasn't no potato on that gun.
Yeah, damn.
No potato in the barrel.
And he laughed a little because war fucks you up, honestly. Mentally, war fucks you up. So he giggled a little bit to himself.
Well, it's messed him up crazy. It's not even just war. It's the idea of knowing all these things that you didn't even anticipate knowing before.
That's real.
It's like
That's real.
all these things, all these previous holders of the founding tie-in and the attack tie-in, and he probably gonna get some Warhammer tie-in memories of her like like taking a dump. I don't know.
Come on, man. what kind of memories is he retrieving right now? Like he's seeing it all.
The Warhammer tie-in, anything like. It's a girl.
Oh yeah, that probably is really fucking him up now that I'm thinking about it. Oh my god.
It's just all these memories and stuff like that, and he's experiencing all of this stuff, and it's just warped his entire personality, like beyond just the war part, because he's lost so many things. Now he's got all these memories continuing to pull him in so many different directions and be like, yo, everyone gotta die. And the core group is like, yo, we might have to clip Eren. Like, we might have to get to the point where we're gonna have to kill him. And Mikasa and Armin are like, yo, chill, it's not even like that. Like, he's just kind of,
Armin is that friend that always want to talk. And sometimes you gotta be the friend that slaps the nigga. I'm so sorry.
He probably got more bodies at this point.
Truly.
Really. At this point.
At this point, if he just be just letting that shit rip in the middle of just a battlefield, absolutely. That nigga.
Imagine what we haven't seen yet.
Exactly. That nigga's like an atomic bomb when he go off.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't want to hear Armin speak, nigga. I don't want to hear it because I know his. I mean, he's absolutely a murderer.
Yeah.
Who on this show is?
I mean.
Oh yeah.
You got 12-year-olds with bodies on this show.
Gotta get your bodies in.
Oh, you're right. Oh fuck. But yeah, Mikasa and Armin are like, nah, just let us talk to him. Like, just us. And we can talk to him and we can figure out like what he's doing, why he went to Marley and did all those things, even though we didn't want him to do that, why he did all these things, and we can figure it out. But everyone's experiencing that Eren is completely different now. And it's just, I think it's really setting in, especially with the casualties of losing Sasha and them having to put on all their cool ass gear to go fly across the globe to kill a bunch of people. And realizing like, yo, not only did we have problems where the world hated us before, as seen in the flashbacks, which why we try to get Miss Kiyomi Azumabito from the nation of Hazuru, fictional nation of Hazuru. Just have to put that.
You said the nation like it's allegedly.
Alleged nation.
Now we have to get her for help, but no one wants to help, and that's my second point. Of the nation of Hazuru, representing by its ambassador. I keep saying her name because like I'm so impressed. Oh, also I figured out Onyan Capone. Onyan Capone is his name. I'm probably fucking it up, but I wanted to make sure to get that black guy's name.
You gotta say it fast. Onyan Capone.
Yeah, I'm trying to. He's obviously not from Marley.
Nigerian.
Maybe. Oh, we didn't do that reveal on the podcast yet?
We did not. What? That I'm an African giant?
Actually, yeah, this is this is so funny because I remember Carlos previously asking me, he was like, yo, what is Jeff? Like, what is his like nationality and stuff like that?
Yeah, and like, I don't know. I was like, what is his nationality? Because like I look at pictures of this nigga and I'm like, where's this nigga from?
And actually, come to find out, so this is wild because it's like years later after this, but it's like great timing that Jeff did his ancestry thing and found out. Go ahead, find out how much how African you really are.
Literally, my mom and my dad do not know their fathers, so I've kind of always been curious what was in me or whatever. But so I did ancestry, it came back and it was like 24% Nigerian. And that's all I needed to see. After that, I was like, I had text Robbie, I text Meelz, like anybody I could think. I was like, no, y'all niggas gotta see this because I would have never thought in a million years, bro, like it would say Nigerian, but it did. There's some other stuff in there too, like Scottish and bunch of European shit. Basically, it's like 68% black, and then everything else is like European. So,
well, listen. You're not the only one who had the ancestry in this thing. Mikasa herself. Mikasa, who I'm beginning to wonder now. I question
his ancestry as a segue, but go on.
It worked.
It was just a good.
It's supposed to be a proud moment.
Listen, 170 something episodes of Two Belts, 80 episodes of this. I've gotten pretty good at
Too
this.
easy,
To be honest.
yeah, it's too easy for me.
I know, right? He does it without looking.
Yep.
I truly did it without looking. So the ambassador who shows up under the pretense of seeing Mikasa, for some reason I've never like. I guess everyone has had names like, oh, there's Connie and Jean and Sasha, and I've never once said like Mikasa. That's not a name that doesn't fit in this thing.
Yeah, because all of them have like German and French names and shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like really easy for someone that's Anglo-Saxon to say where Mikasa's name is like so different. I think they tease that when they talk about the Ackermans like ancestry. They say that I think was it Kenny's cousin or some shit is like her mom.
Right.
She married into the family with someone that was like from the East, basically.
Absolutely. And friggin', first of all, another thing that was funny before I gotta get to this point eventually, but another thing that was funny in this episode was, so they do the time skip to like a year before when they're working on the railroad, right? Mm-hmm. And it's so funny because Levi looks around and he's like, you all are growing up pretty fucking tall. Like, he is short as hell. I mean, shout out to,
but he's the most handsome on the show.
He's the most handsome and deadly and all this other stuff like that. But it's like, didn't even realize. It was like, yo, this man is really, it's representing for the short king. So shout out to you guys. Maybe us. I don't know. Depends. But all right. So Kiyomi comes to the Parody Island under the pretense of seeing Mikasa and trying to secure.
Parody? I always thought it was
parody.
That's
crazy. If you're American and you say paradise, we're gonna let it slide because
paradise, parody.
Like the S is silent.
That's is silent.
Yes, the S is silent. That's is 100% silent.
These niggas play too much.
It's like Gabby. Gabby is Gabi.
It's actually Gabi. It's not Gabby at all. But the song, fuck Gabby. It just goes. I don't know. Works. I'm not gonna tell him to record the song.
Yeah, he's not gonna redo that shit. That shit won't work. That shit's one take.
It's funnier just saying Gabby at this point. So.
Absolutely. But she's also trying to secure Iceberg Stone, wherever that came from. So according to Parody has these resources in them, which apparently power all of their maneuvering gear, of the Iceberg Stone, which Zeke, who first of all is not part of Parody at all, was willing to sit in a previous meeting with Kiyomi, and it's like, much info, man. you can have some of this Iceberg Stone if you go over, like, he's negotiating on behalf of them without even them negotiating with Zeke at all. He's like, yo, you can take some of this ODM gear if you want to. You can have this one. I stole like 4 of them when I was over there. Killed like 80 guys and just picked up like 4 of them. But you can have this, and she, so now she's over, one, trying to get the resources for Parody, and also the world will be pretty soon privy to what they have as well, and be also like, yo, we want that as well. But she's acting as a mediator between Zeke and them at the time, at least, because this is all flashback shit. It's confusing because they like jump in between past, present, 2 years, 3 years, 1 year, all this. They jump just too many times in an episode.
If you're on season 4 with us and you've been watching, then it should come as no surprise.
This is definitely season 3.5 material right now.
They be going
so
on.
she talked to Zeke, and they have a plan to save Parody. Here's Zeke's plan. It's a 3-step plan to save Parody. Save Eldians, not even Parody, just Eldians in general. Mm-hmm. 1, we test in the rumbling, which means we're gonna smash a few nations and let people really know who's boss. Right, like, we're gonna let the rumbling just rock for a little bit, not forever.
Sure,
it might have to be forever.
That's so funny because it's just like a nigga leaning in and telling you, yo, we're not gonna set off the whole atomic bomb, just a little bit, just in this one little place.
That's enough. People will die, but
it's a warning shot with casualties, yes, but it's such a fucked up idea.
It really is.
It's stupid, but it's like, yo, we gotta kick off with that. If we don't kick off with that, we got nothing. They're gonna show up with airplanes and all types of modern technology, iPads, and start spreadsheeting y'all asses. 2, while the rumbling is stopping, or while the rumbling is happening, The nation of Hazuru will lend you all of their knowledge on technology for military. So they're going to be like, yo, we're going to supply you guys with planes. We're going to supply you guys with boats, lasers,
they come up.
guns, all this other stuff. So we're going to build your military. We're going to start breeding with people. So you guys have more people. There are going to be more Mikasos all over the island. I promise you. It's going to be
demanding breeding people. Like,
oh yeah,
first of all, that's the next step.
Put that on my list.
That's the next step, but that's the next step. But
come on, y'all don't like mixed babies? What's wrong with y'all? It's for the sake of love.
So we're going to do that for how long as it takes until we get our. So the rumbling will continue for as long as it takes till we get your military up where you guys are a true superpower. It could take 30 years. It could take 50 years. But in the meantime, in these 50 years. So here's the third point. So in these 50 years, these Titans only last for 13 years. We're going to have to start breeding you guys. You're founding Titan girl. I'm looking at you in royal blood. I'm looking at you in your direction. You're going to have to start having babies. Aaron, you're going to have to figure some stuff out. I don't know. Pick a girl.
Like, Aaron, what's going
really
on, man?
scared.
You gay? You like girls? What's going on? What do you know? You ain't show no interest in nothing. He showed no interest in nothing. We don't know what Aaron really likes, man.
Yeah, he's just like, yo, just you find somebody somewhere, not Historia, but maybe don't do Historia. Find somebody else. Because if you do Historia and then the rumbling starts to happen, it's going to be some wild shit. Imagine if sex started the rumbling that ended the entire world as we know it. But you know what? That's part of the plan. They've got a lot going on and they've got a lot of things to do. Overall, the overarching thing for this episode is that Aaron is completely changed and the people who are very, very much so close to him are beginning to know it. And of course, Parody is communicating to the outside world for the first time in a somewhat reputable way, and they can't even seem to get people on their side. Even the one country that they're with cannot convince people against it, and it's really because of what Aaron did in Marley. And then also, they want to mine Parody for their resources, all that, Ice Stone Burst or whatever the hell it's called. But nonetheless, we learn a bunch of things. I've read the manga from here, so I kind of know what's going to happen. And it's very, very interesting. Still plenty of swerves coming in Attack on Titan world. So we just got to look forward to that, guys. I'm going to wrap things up here. We're going to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen up next. So make sure you guys stay tuned. And thank you guys for tuning in to Titan Time. All right. And we are back to talk about, I guess, the main event of what we're here to talk about is Jujutsu Kaisen, which has become one of the absolute, I'd say probably the best. Obviously, it's one of the best new anime of last year, I guess. We actually had this debate. And actually, you know what's so funny? I contacted Carlos about this debate. The debate that we were having actually in the group chat regarding whether we should add Jujutsu Kaisen the best new anime of 2020. And people were like, no, it's too new. And we were like, nah, but it's 11 episodes in. There's a little bit of a structure, arcs are finished and stuff. And I think I asked Carlos, I was like, what do you think about it? And he was like, I think you were like, yeah, it's new. It's here. But Jujutsu Kaisen is probably the best new anime of 2020. It's got a manga that's apparently very exciting.
For sure.
Judging by the reactions of the other two people on this podcast, it is a rare anime that I guess I have not read the manga before. That Jeff has.
I think it's special, man. I really do. I think it has a lot of potential. Jamal's the one who put me on early. He was kind of pressing me about it, and I think even reading the first few chapters, I wasn't you and I spoke about it in text. Okay, I'm not quite there yet. I don't quite understand. The anime definitely helped. I'm caught up in the manga now. I know Carlos is as well, but I'm just glad that the anime definitely pushed it forward for me and it's solid. It's solid. It's one of the ones for sure.
Now, obviously, last time we talked about this, we talked about it in episode 1 or episode 2 or something like that. One of those early episodes obviously has majorly progressed by then. I want to ask you guys personally, what has been your favorite part of watching the anime as opposed to? I don't even want to say. Why I keep saying opposed to the manga? We're not talking about the manga.
Yeah, we kind of are. Definitely not.
You're definitely not. But what is your favorite part thus far of the anime thus far?
I think It's, for me personally, I think it's the introduction of the people from the sister school from Kyoto.
Mm.
Because they have a wide variety of personalities there on their team, and those guys are interesting.
The guy
Plus,
who likes big asses.
years, yeah, yeah, I felt that. Like the real one, the real can relate.
The real can relate. The real can relate. I'm really into the domain expansion, the abilities, the curses. I think the curses are like they're easy for me to kind of accept and take in because they remind me so much of Nin from Hunter x Hunter.
Mm.
And just because of that, like I'm automatically interested. The domain expansion stuff is extremely cool. I think it's a good way to kind of show off a special attack or like a final moment desperation type thing. I just think the show has what it takes to kind of go the long run.
I can't wait till they put this in like a fighting game because I feel like the
Dude, it's gonna be
expansion is
perfect.
so amazing.
If
Like
they
it,
play it like Dragon Ball Fighters type
yeah.
situation, it could really, really get good.
Oh
Yo,
man,
I actually put up a tweet on the Lookout thing just recently. I was like, yo, what if they did a Marvel versus Capcom S game like for anime, or like for, I guess I wouldn't say studios. It's not like studios own the actual property; they just produce the property. But like a Marvel versus Capcom esque type of game,
Yeah.
like Jujutsu Kaisen versus like Demon Slayer or Yu Yu Hakusho or some shit like that. You know, like it's something cool where you got like.
nah, the
Uh,
interaction between Sukuna and Muzen would be fucking hilarious.
It'd be the best. Seriously.
He's like, I've lived for
he's the
500
best.
years. Well, I've lived for like close to several hundred. Ooh.
Right.
Mm. How many people have you killed? How many people have you killed? I am the demon in the show. Like it's the
Well,
bus
your
stops
hat
with
is
me.
stupid. Well, you wear fucking fingernail polish.
Oh my god.
Oh my god! But that would be freaking amazing. But nah, I think honestly, what draws you in, especially when you talk about the first episode, is first of all the fight scenes because they are taken to the next level and that shit. I
It's
don't know
so
what
good.
Map was doing. I don't know what energy they had, what sauce they had, what budget they were given for this damn show. But legitimately, all the fight scenes in the show, if they go really, really in depth, they're
Mappa,
like
man.
some like
They
Yeah.
animating that thing so well. Like and that's why I said I do like the manga a lot. Like I think the manga even evolves a good bit after those first few volumes, but um the anime just does it justice. I mean, because you can get lost in the sauce reading this shit. I will tell you, like, there's a lot of back and forth, who knows who, family members and family groups and clans and abilities and all that shit. But the anime just puts it in perspective for you. So I think it's a pretty easy watch once you get over the shock of like the first episode being kind of like, what's happening? What is this? You know?
I also like
you,
the use of dialogue in this anime because, like, reading it, I think there's a lot of things I glossed over till I actually saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Gojo hinting at like something that happened a couple years ago or like a large incident, but it's like I completely glossed that over because I'm just like, what's going on with Yuji? What's going on with
Right.
Ushiguro? So it's just like rewatching some of the episodes of the anime. The dialogue lays seeds for things that you'll see coming up next, probably pretty soon. Honestly, by the time this arc is over in the anime, is when it's like real grind time.
Interesting. Okay, so you know what's the I always found what's interesting is the beginning of the show and kind of the premise that they've laid out for the show. It's like, okay, Yuji Itadori, he's a kid. He ingested one of Sukuna's fingers and now, it's possessed by the curse or the soul or whatever, however you speak of it. The
He's a
terminology is
vessel.
still
He's a vessel. He
yes, a
holds.
vessel. He holds Sukuna in his body
Yeah,
and they can switch
literally.
bodies at any time. Or at least given the nature of their agreement. But the general thing is like, okay, the school has sort of permitted you're either going to die now, or you can ingest all 20 of these fingers so we can kill you later. So
Your choice.
yeah, it's an interesting sort of I guess way to go. It's like at the end of the day, it's like, okay, this kid has to die, or will he die? I mean, this is anime. This is shonen. Like, will he actually die? And he already has in this series at this
He
point.
has.
But
And then Gojo is such an interesting character because he sits there and he's like, "Well, I'm going to give you sort of these options, right?" And
hmm
eventually, it's just like, what does he know that we don't know? Like
Too
Gojo
much.
Gojo is famed in this universe as very like all powerful and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like
Everyone
even
knows
when
it.
asked if he could go toe to toe with Sukuna, he's like, probably.
Yeah, no, literally. He was
There's
like,
never a
even
moment.
him in his full power, he's like, yeah, I'd probably still win.
Yeah, he's like there's no chance in hell that this nigga's gonna beat me. I'm sorry. I am the chosen one. I am destined to lead my clan. Da 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 da.
It's like the Dragon Ball Z thing where it's like, what if Frieza gets loose again? And Goku's like, I got him. Like,
I'll handle it. It'll suck. Maybe I'll
yeah,
have one of my students go try it out, but I'll handle it.
Yeah,
yeah,
where
and
he's
he's
like
so
hilariously lax about the shit. Like, yeah, I body that nigga.
Yeah,
he's lax
Gojo,
about
Gojo,
everything.
he's different, man. I really feel like he's gonna be on all those lists, you know, like strongest anime characters ever type. You
Right.
know, he has that type of potential, especially when you get to like his past arc and stuff like that, and you kind of see why he is the way that he is, and uh, yeah, it's a really great story that I think it kind of makes it seem like Yuji, although Yuji is the main, you know, protagonist, like they do a great deal of like developing side characters fairly well to where you don't get like
Hmm.
niched in and like carried away with just worrying about Yuji.
Right. One last thing I'll say about Gojo is that essentially he's lax about everything except for the fact that he hates the old society, which I can 100% relate with and can sort of side with, that he hates the old kind of structure of like we're doing things this way, we're doing things this way, and he's training his students to sort of
He
become
hates
stronger so they can,
boomers.
uh, bruh.
He hates boomers,
I
bro.
mean,
Like,
at this point, I agree. That's why I feel him so much. I was like, yeah, I also don't like
yeah,
how
absolutely.
he's
Like
kind of
it's
shaking
really
down.
one of those things where if you're, you know, old and you're still going through the motions of just like caring about the way things used to be, he's totally
Mm-hmm.
against it.
100%. Let's talk about the other characters in the show because they have some interesting. We can talk about the good side, we can talk about the bad side eventually, but we've had a couple, I think, great. So they call it like deuter agonist, and like if you look at all those like crazy fandom articles because they're actual name for like protagonists that aren't the main protagonists and shit like that.
Right?
Um,
I learned that from like watching anime. Like I didn't know what
yeah,
randomist. Like what? They got those? I just called them secondary niggas.
yeah, the deuteragonist and
You
what's
know it.
Nobara called? I think yeah, there's something along those lines. But we have Megumi, who was introduced in episode one. He's obviously cool as fuck. Um, uh, we have Nobara as well, someone who's also introduced. I like Nobara just because she's like this no nonsense chick who kind of
Yeah,
like
she's incredible. She's like a great character.
has cool. All of them have cool powers. That's like one of the amazing things about the show. Like we talked about it a bit before we started recording, but it's like the difference between this show and like say Dragon Ball Z, right? Like Dragon Ball Z will do the thing where it's like, oh, it's a Kamehameha, but
Hmm.
like, and then there are like different iterations of it, like a Masenko or something, and all the differences pretty much is just like
Yeah,
what you yell and maybe the color of the beam and shit. But these people have actually like original set of
it
powers,
actually varies.
yeah, and which they use tools and they can conjure up, I guess, spirits or curses or things like that. And it makes it for a very kind of, at least in this first season, we're still being introduced to the concept of everything and we're still kind of learning about it. It makes a lot of it very, very unpredictable. Like the character, I believe his name is Nanami.
Hmm.
Nanami, the
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
The 3-7
who
sorcerer.
The OG.
yeah,
Don't make him
and
late.
he's
He got to be good at math.
he's
I
He's got
figure.
to be good at that. He has to. He's always looking at his watch.
he's got to be good at laugh, but it seems like he hates life. Like he just like he's so apathetic towards everything. He's so like I wonder if it becomes a thing where like later down the line he's like, damn, I actually love these kids. Damn, or something along those lines. You're
No
just like,
comment.
no, I'm
No
just doing
comment. No
business.
comment.
Okay, okay, no
I
comment.
can't.
Thank you.
Yeah, we definitely can't talk about him in depth as far as the manga because it's just too much.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. However, he's a great part of this show, and they even give him a little backstory of like, yo, I used to work in this office, then I hated working in the office, and I became a jujitsu sorcerer because it's way more cooler, and I feel like I'm actually contributing to things instead of like making rich people richer
Right.
and stuff like that. Now I'm like actually helping people and stuff like that. So I thought it was cool. He has that 7-3 shit, which I think is fucking incredible. We also, throughout the series, you get introduced to the rest of the Jujutsu high tech students: Maki, Toge, Panda. Um, my favorite is Panda, obviously.
Panda.
He's so
Not,
interesting. He's got an interesting outlook on life because he's not human.
That's right.
yeah,
He's
Him
like
being a cursed
3.
doll
He has
with
3
three
cores.
souls in him. Yeah, he has 3
Yeah.
souls in him.
it's I don't know. It's just I've watched this entire series and I was just like, damn, how could you not fall in love with the entire cast of the show because they're so different. Like,
Yeah,
and
Man, just wait,
they're
man. We got more coming. Like Utah's on the way. I want to see his debut in the anime so bad, but Volume 0 is like, it's so
I
good.
think I think they should drop Volume 0 right before the second season because I think that gives it a good pretext for what would probably be the end of the second season.
They definitely should.
I agree.
They
I
definitely
agree.
should.
I mean, I haven't passed the point. So the point I've reached up to the manga actually was the point where uh Panda destroyed Mecha Noromu or Mecha the
Mekamaru.
mechanical
Yeah,
yeah,
Mekamaru.
Mechamaru. So I reached up to that point and then I was like, okay, anime was announced. I'm still not fully sure. I hated like the fact that I hate when I read and then I have to go to the fandom article and be like, okay, but like I'm trying to understand like beyond the surface what's actually happening. Like what am I
Right.
missing? Because I know there's stuff that I'm actually missing.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let me stop here because it seems like we're about to head into some big shit. Little did I know, like I'm watching the anime right now, watching episode 18, and when homeboy with the flowers in his eyes invades. Sorry if I don't know all the villains in the show yet, but because there are so many, and so many I feel like are going to get killed anyway.
They definitely are.
But
It's a lot.
Hanami is the one with flowers in his eyes. He's
Yeah.
a cartoon.
yes, there you go. And just to that point, I mean, I didn't see it coming, but then I kind of expect, like, why didn't I see this coming? Because this reminds me of also that other My Hero Academia arc where students were trying to enjoy themselves and then terrorists show up and fuck shit up.
You know how it goes.
Um,
The norm.
Yeah, it's the anime, son. Something you've got to have conflict in
No
bound.
breaks.
yeah, absolutely. But I was too. The thing was, I'm too drawn in by these characters, right? Like I'm drawn into like just for instance, episode 17, right? This is the first episode of anime that I've seen centered solely around women. I mean, there were a few men who were featured in the show having dialogue and stuff like that, but featuring the combat and the stories and the backstory and the struggles and everything of just women. And you have all these badass women. And, some cuter than others in terms of just like their personalities and some harder than others in terms of personalities. But at the end of the day, you kind of saw the full spectrum of like what they have to offer. Yeah. And it was one of the probably best episodes that I've seen of the series thus far because they give the backstory between the twins, Maki and Mai, and it's just kind of like, okay, um, I didn't want to settle in this family. I know it's a strong family and stuff like that, and I know I have an inability with can't really see or use curse techniques, but I didn't let that kind of like hold me back. And I didn't let that actually define who I am. And I went out on my own and I learned and I became as strong as I am. And yeah, they won't raise me up a grade because they're pussy. But um, at the end of the day, like uh, I'm as strong as I am, and I'm stronger than pretty much a lot of the people here. And I think that was a kind of amazing story to tell that she built her own strength from within, as opposed to having it be defined by her family or the people that are with her. And yeah, she did lie, but at the end of the day, it's like you kind of have to do things for yourself, kind of at the end of the day, when no one believes, if no one else believes that you can. And there's still a conflict between Maki and Mai that lingers on after this, and Maki gets the best of Mai in this sort of situation, but it tells a great story, and even the little fight between Momo and Nobaru and stuff like that, and their own fight and what they have, and their sort of ideals, which it ended up centering around Maki and Mai at the end of it, but even their fight is amazing, and just Also, Kasumi Miwa is just cute and adorable, and she loses her sword, and then in the next episode, she picks up a phone and falls asleep because Toge is on the other end, and he has a cursed speech thing, which anything that he says will, I guess, kind of happen.
That's my dog, man. I'm
Other
telling
than
you,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
that's the
So
man.
generally, the idea is that beyond, I didn't even see a lot of this stuff coming because I was just so enveloped with the actual characters of the show. And recently, I watched the English dub of the Mojido's introduction, that Mojito arc thing
Yeah, yeah.
with, with Junpei, and I thought that was amazing too. I thought that story was kind of incredible too, and it was wild because they faked me out once again because of how powerful these actual characters are. They faked me out once again because I thought Junpei was going to be in the show. I thought he was like in the
Yeah, they
show
they
for
they
real.
make you think Junpei, and then I like how they just tease an ability and kind of what he's all about, and
Gave him a
you
cool
meet his
ass
mom and
jellyfish.
all this other, and it's just like, oh yeah, he's gonna be a core character. Nice, the intro has him in there and a pretty big part at the end, so it definitely makes you think, yo, this is gonna be a main character, and then you see what happens, and that's one of
Yeah.
my favorite things about the show is they make these sub characters that give you all this information, which doesn't overwhelm you, but it also doesn't take too much away from Yuji, who we're somewhat following, and they just do a really good job developing characters that you're not sure if
Right.
you need to be invested in, but they're like, well, you're invested anyways. Here's this.
And it's not totally like the Demon Slayer thing where it's like as they're dying, you get their whole like sad
Oh
Yeah,
backstory.
no, you can't do that. Like I feel like people will catch on to the grift eventually for Demon Slayer.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I mean,
because
it
it's
legitimately
like
happens every
it's like
time.
super fluid animation, and then niggas do shit like that to you
but
like 8 times in a row.
Carlos, man, it's too late. Demon Slayer is the chosen one, so it's anything that is not right about Demon Slayer, you know what happens. You know what happens.
Yeah,
It's too late.
I mean,
yeah, pretty
it's
much.
a. I think I don't know. I think this series has a good. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna sell as much manga as fucking Demon Slayer, but I think it has a good ability to be like that kind of generational kind of anime that people um kind of rally around, especially depending on. I don't think this doesn't seem like a series that's going to go on forever like One Piece
Oh
or
hell no, One
Yeah,
Piece.
I could give it
One Piece
three,
is that
4.
long by mistake.
yeah,
I
It's
could give it
not that
4
long by
seasons or something.
design. It's by mistake.
right. So I think the story ends up having an ending, and I'm pretty sure um, the writer behind it and the minds behind it exactly have that ending. So I can't expect it to like, okay, it's going to last forever, like this or like Dragon Ball Z. I could see them having like a Jujutsu Kaisen GX or something
Oh
Oh
along
yeah,
those
God.
I feel
lines.
like one day we'll see like Yuji's a teacher at Jujutsu
Yeah,
Right.
a
Kai or
sequel of some sort. I can dig that. I could see
the
getting 3 or 4 seasons, 5 seasons.
Jujutsu babies.
Teen Jujutsu. Um, but I can 100% see all that. But yeah, I see this as something that's like capping off and having an ending. Um, there's so many things that are so incredible about this. We talked about the artwork and kind of the direction of the show, especially when they incorporate a lot of the domains and stuff like that, which kind of take it's like a very abstract it's a very abstract power that has yet to kind of be shown. Is there anything similar to it in anime? Like domains, like one hit KO,
Um,
trapping you in this world? Unless it's like the Shadow Realm or some shit like
I
that.
mean, I would say no, really. Like I think the whole idea of cursed energy in general, like I said earlier, it does remind me of Nin, but even Nin
Mhm.
doesn't have anything like a domain expansion where you literally trap your opponent in and you get it's a guaranteed hit.
Yeah, they have like Riat. Was it Ren and what's the other shit? They
Right,
have
Ren 10,
the
yeah.
shit where you feel
Stimpy,
someone else's
something.
malicious aura.
Hmm.
That is probably as far as it goes. Like you saw Nav lose all his fucking hair when he stepped into the palace.
Yeah, because it was just too much.
Right.
Yeah.
He was like, "Damn, that's
Yeah.
malicious as fuck."
Yeah, there are consequences. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But it's amazing. I think the show kind of takes things to kind of a new level. And we're talking very sort of open aspect because I think once the season is kind of wrapped up and we're able to talk about it from A to B,
Mhm.
we'll do a much more formal kind of discussion about like the arcs and the story and the characters and things that happen in the show. But I think honestly that this show thus far, 18 episodes in, 19 episodes, I don't know what happens in the manga, but it looks like the 19th episode is about
Yeah,
to be
19 is
sweet.
going to be one of those ones.
Woo!
For everything I've heard.
The tweet I read was this episode 19 is going to be similar to the Demon Slayer episode 19.
Yeah,
Not similar,
that's a really good
but
comparison because that's exactly what it's going to be like. Mappa's about to clean up.
oh, okay. All right. I like that. So I'm definitely gonna look out for that because I definitely do watch this in my spare time and just feel like, damn, the show's incredible. It does lag a little bit, but it's because we're introducing a bunch of new characters. Like it does stretch out a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but it
Well,
doesn't
first season really
feel,
doesn't,
and it doesn't really feel like I know I'm talking about My Hero, and I'm like, damn, what are we doing for like 9 episodes? Oh, Terrence
For
attack.
real. And look how
Um,
great that is now.
yeah.
So
Um, but honestly, this it's just really really good. Jujutsu Kaisen has managed to infiltrate the modern realm of anime and has just kind of turned up and showed out and delivered on kind of every level possible. Um, any final words about this series, you guys? Any final thoughts?
Yuta Okotu, I'm telling you, I need him to get in. I need his debut to happen so bad. I want to see it
They're
animated.
gonna do the OVA for you. They
I
absolutely
need
are.
it, man. Volume
Even
0.
if
If
they
you
make
haven't
it that
read it,
shit into a film, I think it's like
it
a
would
really good
work.
story. It's such a
It would
good
work.
story.
It's
Like if
such a
you
good
would,
story.
I'm not gonna lie to you, if he was the protagonist, I would have wanted to see his growth as well.
Yes.
Like absolutely, because
Yes.
his curse is so interesting.
It's so
Yeah,
badass. It's so
I
badass.
agree.
I think there's a lot of potential there for all these characters. It's sometimes you really question, like, damn, is Yuji really like the main focus? Are we really supposed to be focusing on Yuji, or is it just because it's Sukuna? But there's a lot to give. There's a lot of characters that are being introduced. I don't know if you read the latest chapter. So
Oh,
if you
me, yeah.
have, it looks like Yuta is back like in this next chapter. So that's kind of cool.
Interesting. So we have that to look forward to, especially if you guys read chapter. I implore everyone, even if you have not caught up in the manga, I have not caught up in the manga, but I have read chapter 0 because I know it's a prequel, and it doesn't really affect what's currently. I mean, it does affect what's currently going on in the manga, but it doesn't spoil anything, obviously. And it's just a great pretext to these characters you've seen before, like Maki, Toge, Panda. They're all there, all the people that you love, except Megumi and Nobara, obviously. But they're all there, and you get to even see another side of them. I haven't watched the rest of them. I don't know what's happening in the rest of the season this far, but I know that seeing their relationship with Yuta and how they, get their powers off and how they kind of deal with everything and how they train people and stuff has taught me a lot more about these characters than I ever thought before. So I implore everyone to read that, especially like, all right, maybe wait till the season ends if you don't want to. It's fine, it's whatever. But
Yeah, for sure.
season will wrap up in a couple of weeks, probably like the next like
I
6
think
to
there's
7 weeks.
24
Yeah,
episodes, 26.
which is long for a first season. I'm not sure if they're
I'm
going to
here for it.
continue.
Demon Slayer was what, 25?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 20 something seasons per episode, and then like the way they adapt it is like 3 chapters of manga per episode.
Mm-hmm.
I maybe I'm just like thing because of the Dr. Stone thing, where Dr. Stone was like 24 episodes, and then they're like, we're doing 12 now, motherfuckers.
Yeah, they went hard.
I guess
They got to scale it back.
Yeah, I mean they might decide to do this as well, but I have no idea how it is. I can't wait to read the actual manga itself, but I'm thoroughly enjoying the show, and everything that we has for it. Bruh, Carlos, thank you for coming by.
Yeah,
No
man,
problem,
really
man.
appreciate it.
Always.
And doing this. As always, it's amazing. You can follow him at Damn It Carlos and harass him about anime. Don't harass him about anime.
I
Actually,
mean, no, they can harass me. They can ask me.
Yeah, I'm about to say, he's all on there.
Yeah, I'm
I
always.
don't know about- I don't want it to be like, how did you think this? Or what did you think that?
Oh, nah, I can easily hit the block button if people get annoying. That's
Tweet
tower
Carlos and ask him about Toji.
Yeah, go ahead. Ask me about that.
Ask him about
Yeah,
Toji.
absolutely.
Ask him about Megumi's dad.
Oh my god, the fucking genius.
Oh
like,
my god.
he was.
Ask him about all that.
Oh
Ask him
man.
about all that.
Ask him about all of that. You can follow him at Damn It Carlos. You can follow myself at Meelz TV. You can follow Jeff at Old Newsboy. And of course, you can follow The Lookout at The Lookout RNC on Twitter. You can follow The Lookout on RNC Radio on iTunes, Apple Podcasts. Why I keep saying iTunes? Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, anywhere you can find podcasts, especially
Even
on
on
YouTube as well.
YouTube, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, even on YouTube, where you can watch Titan Time every Monday. Drop every Monday. So
Get these men to an award. Get these men to at least, like, I don't even know. When do they give you the big awards on YouTube? Like little plaques?
I'm trying to eat whatever. eat spaghetti and meatballs out of the plaque. Like,
Eat
that's
a
what I'm
full
trying to do.
fucking roti out of the plaque. That shit might stain it. I'm not gonna lie to you. The China and curry might stain it.
Yeah, curry stains a lot.
But you know what it can stain? Gold.
Interesting.
Which is what we are. Bada boom, bada boom. Any final words from anyone out here? Does anyone want to wrap up? Anyone want to say a word or something like that? Have an anime that people should watch or tune into, things like that?
Nah, I try not to give people recommendations because people will be like, oh, I don't know about this, because it's like when you give someone a recommendation, you kind of hype it up. I'd rather people just watch what they're into, man.
Well,
I've recommended.
I don't have a recommendation, but I did watch 2 episodes of Yeah, I'm a Spider. So what? Weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life. That's all I gotta say.
It's comical at the very least. Like, did you have a couple good laughs?
Yeah, it's goofy as fuck. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It has some moments, but like I can see why people are attached to it, but it's not quite for me yet. So we'll see.
I've been my thing is I've been wondering if I should try out Beastars again.
Oh God, I'm not even having this discussion. I already told you I'm not watching this shit. Like,
there's actually, what's so funny? There's a website I use called BeatStars that's supposed to help you sell your instrumental as a producer.
I know about BeatStars.
I was on like, I think a stream with George Silky Black. He was like, we were like making beats or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I might upload this to BeatStars. Fucking flash turnaround. And he's like, you be watching BeatStars? I was like, hold on.
Slow down.
Allegations.
Oh my God, I was thinking about it. I was just like, you know what? Let's try it. I see it in my every time I go to my website where I watch anime that isn't an actual supported source or something like that. Every time I go to one of those, I see it. When I'm clicking on whatever new episode of Pokemon or Digimon or whatever the hell it is, I'm like, BeatStars is right.
It's apparently popular. So.
It is. I don't know what we're going to talk about next week, Josh, but
I don't know. We still got the norm.
You still got Attack on
Titan, Promised Land, Doctor Stone.
Oh yeah, it was a recap episode this week for fucking Promised Neverland.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't that bad, guys. It wasn't.
You know what's so wild? That episode was really good.
It was pretty good for whatever reason. Like I was not anticipating.
I have to go back and actually watch it because I haven't watched it this week. Because usually what Hulu does is Hulu's like, yeah, new Promised Neverland, new Attack on Titan. Go ahead, watch that shit. But for the recap episode, for whatever reason, they didn't upload it.
Yeah, no, because it's not an actual part of the season.
Mm-hmm.
It's for whatever reason. It's not an actual episode or part of the season, or else people would be pissed because the season was going so weirdly.
It's already going bad.
Yeah, I've got to read the manga because everyone's like, oh, they've skipped something so important. And I was like, damn, I got to read this.
It's crazy.
This manga.
Kids with guns. That's all I got to say. That's all. I mean, if that doesn't get
good, they better have motherfucking guns. You see how tall them creatures is?
Oh my God! But nah, that
Lick only weigh 10 pounds.
That recap episode is really good, and I was like, wow, this like skipped all the fluff and get to the actual shit. It still doesn't make sense, but sure. I mean, I enjoyed it. And we've got a whole bunch of stuff to get. Justin OG Johnny 5, he was like, yo, y'all need to talk about Trigun and stop playing. And I was just like, maybe
that's one of my top 5. Honestly, I love that.
Trigun is real deal. It's a special.
Maybe I'll start Trigun this week. Trigun.
And it's not super long either.
That's what he said. He was like, and it's not fucking long either.
I mean,
we talked about it on Showdown. It was a good time.
I don't dissuade anyone from checking out, honestly, a long running series because you got to start somewhere. And
yeah, that's me as One Piece. I know what's ahead of me.
Yeah,
and I know
I'm 10
Oh, so you
episodes
have
in.
to
You
draw
know
you
what's
a
up.
whole timeline. I have up to what 90 volumes sitting in my room.
Mm, this is true. I don't know if you've been. I mean, obviously, Jeff, you've never been to Carlos' room, but it is truly he has a lot of little toys that I'm jealous of and stuff like that, and manga and all this other stuff like that. So, a true man of the culture is what I'll say. Carlos is. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. Obviously, we'll have a new episode to look out every week.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.